guys, and welcome back to Kicking It with Ty. If you were here for my last video, you know that we've made a complete turnaround for this channel. And one of the first videos that I had on my last one was a video about relationships and 5 things that I've learned from previous relationships, from failed engagements, all of the above. So pause for a second. If you haven't seen that video, stop this video, go watch that one, and come back to this one when you're done. If you have watched it, welcome back. Today, I am super excited because I have someone who... someone who is near and dear to my heart. And he happens to be, if you've paid attention to the title by now, my ex.
What?
He happens to be my ex. Not only is he my ex, he's actually the first person that I was ever engaged to.
Does this still count like as an ex if there was exes in between?
Yes, you're still an ex. You belong back there.
Like this was 12 years ago. So
this was 12 years ago.
If there's exes in between,
you're not still an ex.
I'm like a
your exes.
Z. I'm a Z.
So annoying. Anyway, his name is Michael. Well, Leo. He's changed his name. He has.
I'm on the run, y'all.
Yeah, he's on the run. But his name is Leo, or Leonce, however you want to. Leonce, my bad. I call him Leo. He is I'll let him tell you guys a little bit. We work hand in hand. We work hand in hand with each other. Literally, like if you follow my social media, my Grand Pro experience, if you don't know it already, if you follow my social media, you know that I do a lot of makeup for photo shoots, and the lead photographer, one of the lead photographers that I normally work with is Leo. So go check out his page. I'll put it down so y'all can, click on it, see it, description box, all of the above. But I'll let him tell you guys a little bit about him, and then we can get started on this conversation.
All right. Well, like she said, I am a photographer. I'm supposed to look at this one?
I don't know. Just look at this one.
This one? I mean, this one's like on me. Let me look at this one. Because, in the shows, when
okay,
you
go ahead.
get the camera time, you got to look at the main one. So, my name is Leo, as she stated. I am a photographer, but I am also a YouTuber as well. I am the creator of a show called UnBiased. Mm-hmm. So, this is not Kicking It with Ty. This is the Kicking It with Ty UnBiased edition. She be trying to take up all that.
We'll add his name in there somewhere.
Anyways. But yeah, I am a photographer. You can check out my YouTube. It's the same thing. Leonce Leazard. That's Instagram. That's YouTube. That's Facebook. Whatever you want to follow me. All right, let's get started.
So let's talk about how we met. Where did we meet? What's your version of how we met?
Well, we went to when we were younger. When I was younger, I don't know how young you were, but when I was younger,
I was a year older than him.
Okay.
So I think when we met, I think I was 18. He was 7. No,
we actually met before that.
Did we?
It's 18, 17.
18 and 17 or 18 and 19. I don't remember, but
18, 17.
18, 17. So I was 18 and he was 17. Yes. Go ahead.
So we did go to church together. We were in the part of the same youth group, ministry, youth group. And we were just friends at the time, we were friends, and that's how we met.
So his version is that we met
at the church.
At the church.
Correct.
My version is that we did. First. Yes, I was in college.
Your sister. Okay.
Okay.
And then you came down. When you came back down.
Yeah.
Your sister was already going to church, so they must have dragged you there. You know how your parents
Basically, exactly how.
Okay. And then you started going to the church. I was already there.
Okay, so we're gonna leave it at that.
All right.
He was already at the church. How did we start talking?
I slid in the MySpace DMs. MySpace was back then.
I don't remember none of this.
Yeah, I believe I slid into MySpace DMs, and I complimented you, and then yeah, and then I think maybe a couple days later, I went to your job at the tattoo parlor where you got the back tattoo. I went to your job, and I met you. You had to tell everybody what back.
Dang!
It's in your pictures, ain't it?
No. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You did, and you pretended like he pretended like he was about to get a tattoo.
What?
And he definitely did not.
Pretended?
You pretended like he was about to get a tattoo there, and that didn't happen.
I don't recall.
I do, because he definitely would, and I thought it was cute. So I was like, he came all the way to my job. Came all the way to my job to come see me, you know, come say hi, all the above. From there, we started dating. And
that was in 2008.
I don't remember
2008.
2008. I will take his word for it because I don't remember.
It was in 2008.
When it was. Okay, so 2008.
12 years ago.
12 years ago. Oh, duh. Okay, so 2008, we started dating. And then how soon were we, like, did we start dating and then you moved in and then we were engaged? Do you remember how soon that was?
All right, so if I'm going to be honest, because I'm very unbiased to my truth.
Unbiased. Shameless plug.
Alright, back then my longest relationship was no longer than a month.
I didn't know this.
Yes, you did. You did know this. My longest relationship was no longer than a month, and I remember you marking the month when we made it past a month so you can show that, hey, this was the deal. Yeah, you were very particular. Wow. And so we made it past a month. So I want to say I passed a month, maybe weeks later, about maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, is when...
It was only a month?
It was like 8 weeks. It was like 8 to 9 weeks. I want to say 10 weeks. I'm going to give you 10 because I remember it was a month and then there was a time when I was no longer home. And then it was like, hey, y'all living together. And then, you know, you started...
Yo!
Go ahead.
It was a month?
It was a little bit... I'm going to say 2 months. I'm going to give you 2. I'm going to say 2. Because I think the whole thing was 3 months.
That's crazy because for me, I guess, like, being that it was so long ago, one, I have no sense of time. However, my memory feels like this was, like, at least a year. Like, I feel like this was at least a year, and, like, we were, like, locked and loaded. We had been dating forever, and, like, even that year was too fast. But I definitely don't remember a month.
It was, like...
But, like, I know that, like, being that young, being as young as we were, I feel like a month is a long time for 17 and 18-year-olds.
And a month was my longest relationship.
So. Right. So you're like, oh, you know, thinking, I don't know what you were thinking, but for me, like, I'm like, I think at that time, I definitely had surpassed a month. I was at least a year.
Well, you know, time flies when you're having fun.
In that month of us dating, he ends up no longer being at home, and we offered, my mom and I, offered for him to move in with us since I was dating him already. Obviously, at that age, you already got nowhere else to go. So we offered, and he moved in.
Correct.
A month and 4 weeks, 2 weeks later
2 or 3 weeks.
into our relationship.
Correct.
Okay. So we were living together, and honestly, based on us living together, obviously, like, I was raised in the church, he's raised in the church, and we were not sleeping in separate rooms. So
we were not.
So my mom recommended and advised, obviously, as a mother would, that if you guys are together, then you guys feel like you guys love each other, then, because, like, I think at that point I was selling to her that, like, this is the love of my life, this is the only person that I will be with, this is it, I'm sold, 18 years old, like, he's it. So I feel like the conviction in my heart told her that, like, I was gun-hold and set. And I think at that time I really was set on, like, this is it. I'm ready to marry. I'm ready to like sit down. But honestly, like, looking back, obviously, flash forward, I was definitely set on the vision of marriage and not necessarily a marriage. I was on the vision of a wedding and not necessarily a marriage. So,
and you know, honestly, I think that's the thing right there too, because it's like, you're with someone, you care about them, you know, you're in love with them, and you feel like, you know, what's the point of waiting? So right. I think that was more of the case for our situation. It was like, what's the point of waiting? We're together. I don't plan on being with nobody else. You don't plan on being with anybody else. Why would it matter?
Right. So, and I don't think, like, even in our relationship in that month, like, we were definitely like in love. I mean, right? We were definitely in love. And I don't even think we like argued. Like, I think our relationship is very similar to how our friendship is right now. We were very, very close to each other. We were always together. He was with my family all the time. And like, we just, our connection with each other was just always so like strong that I don't think at that time there was an option or even a thought of being with anybody else. So like, we were just like, okay, all right, if you down, I'm down. Like, let's go. And we definitely, like, I definitely was like, okay, like, I know I don't want to be with nobody else. He said the same thing. And so we were like, okay, let's go get our marriage license. So that's what we did.
Exactly, that is what we did.
We went to I remember that, actually.
Was the engagement before the marriage license?
Yeah. Oh. So, I'll let you tell it.
So your mom reached out, and she was like, "Hey, you know, is this something that you want to do?" And I was like, "Yeah, you know, I don't plan on trying to be with anybody else. This is what I'm focused on. She's who I'm focused on." So she was like, "Okay, well, let's get it going." And I was like, "All right." And then she was like, "No, let's go get the ring." And I was like, "Huh?" I was like, "Well, at the time I was 17. I wasn't. I quit. I think I was 18.
You were 18 by then. Yeah,
I was 18 by then. I quit working where I was working. I used to work at a retail store, CVS. I quit where I was working, so I had no money. And she was like, "No, don't worry. You just give it back to me whenever." And so we went. You know, she went to her dude. It wasn't even like the front of the store. It was like the back.
It's like people like the
back of me. Like he pulled us to the back of the store. He opened up a safe. And then he pulls out a bunch of rings, and then he's like showing me, and I'm like, I'm gonna go with this one because the meaning behind it was like a 3-stone ring or something like that. And
see, I don't know this story.
Her sister was there. Your sister was there,
and
your sister was like, no, she like fancy, the big one over there, and we end up getting the big one. So then after we got the ring, your mom held on to it, and then we end up going on a drive to your family house.
Yes, somewhere we went to Wellington. We went out, and we got to my aunt's house. The whole, I think it was like a party for, I don't know what it was for, but my entire family was there. Everybody.
Like even the cousins, like Pookie's
everybody,
cousins twice removed, like
everybody was there. But I kind of had an inkling that like this was gonna happen. I knew that this was gonna happen, and I knew it was gonna happen then.
What was your version of it? And I'm gonna tell you what really happened.